Legends, in this episode of Rucking Good, I head down to Bondi and catch up with famous Bondi Rescue lifeguard Deano Gladstone. Deano shares his journey of being a national level swimmer, an iconic Bondi lifeguard, to becoming a passionate health coach, breathwork instructor, and mental wellness advocate. We dive into his personal battles of trauma after being a recipient of a coward punch at the footy, and how that coward punch shifted his life's trajectory. This ep is full of wisdom on resilience, recovery, and making meaningful lifestyle changes for a better mental and physical health. I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, sorry, you're saying this southern corner?
Yeah, this southern corner is beautiful with the in the winter.
Yes.
Yeah, really nice. You get a little bit of protection from the southerly winds.
And usually there's some sun out.
Usually, well, if there is some sun out, we've had some delightful weather.
I know. The start of spring was a cracker, like an absolute cracker. But yeah, so you grew up
grew up around there in the suburbs. Yeah.
Yeah. Went to school there.
Went to school.
And sport? Were you a sporty kid?
Swimmer. We were.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
We raced in the surf clubs, and swimming was my sport of choice.
Yep. And were you pretty good?
Yeah, I was okay.
Held your own?
Yeah, held my own. Won a couple of races.
Yeah, nice.
The surf club, at 18, I had a national ranking of 2 for the 400 freestyle.
Oh, wow.
But there was a friend of mine, Grant Hackett and Ian Thorpe, they were a couple of years younger, and I think they were very close. I think Thorpe was in the Australian team by then.
Yeah, right.
As a 14 or 15-year-old.
Yeah, with size 12 feet.
Yeah, they were a long way ahead and considerably better. So
did you transition from swimming into life-saving?
Yeah.
In the nippers route?
Well, in the surf life-saving, the nippers, that's what I used to, that was the racing that I used to do as a swimmer. Sort of, it's real social, the surf life-saving.
Yes, yeah. And it's kind of like, especially back then, it was a bit of a rite of passage for Aussies, wasn't it? If you live near the beach.
Well, the sport was huge. Back in the day, the Uncle Toby's, when I was a kid, that was massive.
Yeah. And I don't know how that, I always find it interesting how something that was that popular, I remember as a kid racing home on whether it was a Saturday or a Sunday arvo to watch that, when Handy and all those guys.
Handy.
And then it just kind of disappeared.
I went on a podcast with Guy Leach recently.
Oh, nice.
We were talking about this. It's like, Leachy, you're a superstar. The sport was huge. And potentially, I don't know if the Olympics sort of culled it. I'm not sure what happened, but it just lost its momentum. There's still some fantastic athletes. They just don't get the media that they used to.
It's not Nutrigrain anymore. There's a lawyer group like Shaw and Partners or something seems to have taken it over. It'd be cool to see it come back though. And it's one of those things, if you go to any beach in the summer on a Sunday morning, the beach is just chock full of nippers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so surely there's got to be a pool of competitors. The more kids that are growing up doing that from when they're 4, 5, 6-year-old.
Well, yeah, the sport's still out there. The sport's still amazing, but it's just not
getting any mainstream media.
Yeah, the mainstream media coverage. I don't know with the technology. Even the success of Bondi Rescue over the years, there's certainly a popularity and an interest in the ocean.
Yeah.
And athletes. Healthy young men and young women.
But
I don't know how they're doing it, what they're doing wrong.
Nah, well, and I think there's been a shift, particularly in media, and this is where, for me, bringing back Search for Hurt, I've always been as an executive producer, it tends to be now that executive producers try to bring the worst out in people to create drama. So you've only got to look at all your reality TV shows, whether it's a Married at First Sight, whether it's The Block, whether it's insert name of TV show here, they're just trying to create anxiety and friction. And
well, that's the media in general these days, unfortunately.
Well, it's like that whole if it bleeds, it leads, right? So on that, what do you what would an average like day, month, year look like in the number of rescues you guys would have to do?
Yeah, rescues have decreased significantly over the years. Since the show started, actually, it's probably across the beaches, we're looking at it, maybe a couple of thousand rescues a year, and that's at least halved.
Right.
You know,
so that's what does that boil down to? Like at least
maybe 1,500 or 2,000 rescues.
So that's three or four a day.
Yeah,
on average?
but it's
Yeah.
you know the busy days you do hundreds of rescues, but our rescues, the majority of them are, you know, I don't like to generalise, but tourists.
Yes.
10 metres offshore, just in a spot where they've lost their feet and they're starting to panic a little bit. It's not like you're risking
arm
your
goes
life.
up.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
so you're out there before the arm goes up sometimes.
Yeah, right. And like, I've seen some photos of Christmas Day in particular down here.
Yeah.
Would Christmas Day be the busiest day on Bondi?
It used to be. The problem is the alcohol, really.
Yeah.
It leads to people's decision-making skills decreasing significantly. So back in the day, it used to be loose.
Right. Like real loose.
Real loose, where people used to just get smashed on the beach.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no drinking zones and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, the backpackers used to come and set up with lounges and huge eskies. So thankfully all that stuff is patrolled or managed now. There was, for a couple of years, they had security guards on the beach.
Oh, wow.
But the backpackers now go to Bronte Park. And that's been a bit of a problem area for council. I don't think they've been that bad. They try and put their rubbish away, and ultimately there's not enough bins. So
yeah. and that's what there must be a bit of friction between locals and backpackers because of the rubbish.
Yeah, a little bit. I think people try.
Yeah.
And I'm not a young person anymore, but ultimately it's great for young people to go out and do these sorts of things.
Oh, what's going on here?
I don't know what's going on here.
Do you normally walk this bit?
You would normally go right round the point and there's
Okay.
like the beautiful view, but we're...
Oh, they've had a landslide. On the whole Bondi rescue thing, how long had you been working as a lifeguard before a production crew turned up and someone must have
great
informed
question.
you?
So I started in 2000, and I think 2004, 2005, we were in meetings with them about it.
Okay.
And they wanted to film and maybe do a 60-minute special. And, our goal was ocean safety. We wanted to educate the public.
Yeah.
And it seemed like an exciting opportunity to get some education out there, rips and beach safety. And we had meetings with the production company, and they did some filming, and next minute it's like, oh, we've got enough footage here to actually make a little series. We'll make 6 episodes, and I think they might have done 6 or 8 in the first year, and it's like, well, we might want to come back and do it again.
And did you find it, you probably hadn't had a whole lot of media stuff?
No.
Because this is back before even
I could
social
barely
media.
string a sentence together.
Yeah, right. And so...
so we use this is the walkway.
Oh, that's the bit that's... So how did you go, well, you and all the boys, really, the original cast, did you find it, was it real, pretty intrusive as in fly on the wall stuff, or?
It wasn't intrusive. There's a little bit of recreation where there is that opportunity to ham it up.
Yep.
But ultimately the stories, you're retelling the story of what happened.
Yes.
Because we have some wild shit happen that's never been
bet.
shown.
I bet.
They don't capture it.
Yeah.
And if they don't capture it, there's no story.
Yeah. And on that, actually, so how as a percentage of time, how often were the production crew with you guys at general work?
They used to sort of come set up early December, and then the first couple of seasons they're there to end of March, sometimes early April.
And was it a daily thing, or was it
every day?
Oh, okay, cool.
They're in there from 9 in the morning till 7 at night. They do the hours.
Yeah, and they probably weren't live
film every
editing.
phone call. No.
They film a big chunk, take it away.
Now there is maybe 30 to 40 GoPros on the beach every day running continuously.
Wow.
There's someone sitting in the tower filming almost every phone call, every knock at the door.
Yep.
And then there's a roving film crew.
Yeah, right.
So the editing is the time.
Yeah, so it's like you could probably class it as a reality docu-series where they're just documenting what's going on.
Observational reality.
Yeah.
Observational documentary, yeah. It's not reality TV.
No. And I've got to think...
we're doing our job and they're just filming us.
Yes.
So we, try not to create it, and if they're in the way, they have to move out of the way, and we only do interviews if we've got time, and they pay a lifeguard to drive the buggy, to drive them around.
Oh,
so
right.
while we're doing an interview, the lifeguard that they're paying will watch the water so we can...
yes.
We're covered.
Yep. Yeah.
And I've done that role, driving them round. You end up doing rescues and...
Because everybody else has got their head on camera.
Ultimately, you don't want someone to die. So you're there, and it's really tricky because you've got to sort of hold back, but you don't want people... You hold back until someone's going to, get into trouble.
Yeah. And then it wasn't long, like the TV show took pretty quick. I think the first series was a real hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was definitely popular way back in 2005, 2006.
Yeah. And did that change your life? Like, did you go from being just a guy who just used to get up every morning, do his training, go to work, save people,
well,
go
not really,
home?
because I still had to work.
Did that. Yeah.
We got fuck all for the first couple of years.
Yep.
Literally got nothing.
From a financial standpoint.
From a financial side, and we were working harder.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
We were doing, and on top of that, we were doing all this charity work.
Yeah.
And still to this day, I had someone email me this morning and ask me to do, not charity work, I do heaps with men groups and mental health and Waves of Wellness, a great local charity. They take people surfing. I'm always happy to help out, but someone was emailing me like trying to sell some product and wanted the lifeguards to open it live, and I was almost tempted to tell them, can we swear?
Yeah, mate.
I'm almost tempted to tell them to get fucked. I find people trying to take advantage of, those guys work hard. They don't get, they work for local government, right?
Yeah.
Can barely afford to live around here in the current crisis, and people trying to take advantage of them, getting them to promote their product for free. I find it offensive now because I've been doing it for a couple of years,
and you see it, obviously the more, now we've transitioned from when you first started doing it, social media wasn't really a thing.
To
now,
it's changed.
Yeah, if you've got a big audience, obviously brands want to leverage off the back of that.
And which is great, right?
Yeah.
But the guys need to be paid. People need to be paid for their time. So it's been a wild couple of years. Well, getting towards 20 years now.
I know, it's crazy.
So back then, it was American sitcoms on TV.
Yep. Yeah, it was all sketch stuff, wasn't it?
I think Biggest
scripted.
Loser had just started. That was out of the US, and maybe Big Brother. And it was. We were on TV with American sitcoms, and we were winning. And there was no YouTube, there was no social media.
Yeah, people were forced to get entertainment on the box, right?
TV was a bit different back then, and it was huge. And we were winning the nights, which was huge for Channel 10.
Yeah.
And
going back to the money side of things, I think when I first met you at Coogee, when we did that red paddle cold plunge though, we got into a conversation on that, and I can even remember coming down with my eldest daughter, who's now 16, turning 16, and we came down to Bondi from Central Coast people, and we bought her the cute little Bondi Rescue. So who profited from the boom in Bondi lifesaving and Bondi Rescue? Was that the council or was it the producers?
The council makes some money off it.
Yeah.
We loop down.
Yeah.
stay out of the wind. Yeah, the production company makes money off it. Ultimately, it's it's hard work for whoever's doing it, but I think Channel 10 profits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. After a couple of years, we started getting some form of payment,
Yeah.
which was good. It doesn't go too far between 40 guys.
Nah.
But at least for all the extra work we were doing,
You were getting some
there was something
remuneration.
there.
Yeah. And that wasn't included in your contract as being a lifeguard. It was separate to that.
Separate to that.
Yeah, right.
Because it's extra work we're doing.
Yeah, it's almost
on
like
top.
having
It's
a
not
part-time
like
job.
We're getting paid just for filming.
Yeah.
It was, you know, we're doing photos with people, we're doing interviews. There's a whole range of things. We'd go to events.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were getting paid for that.
It's been a bit surreal because when we were on TV, we were stuck behind a paywall, so we were on ESPN. Yeah. But Commander Steve's on the show now, and obviously he was attached to Biggest Loser. And then I just really liked that era of early reality TV.
Yeah.
Because it was so new and so, like, I don't know, it was just like you went from doing the Hey Hey It's Saturday where everyone's trying to be funny and it's all scripted, or Seinfeld, or like you said, all that American sitcom stuff. And then all of a sudden you're just getting these, let's put 100 cameras in a house like Big Brother.
Oh, and load them up with alcohol.
Yeah, like it was just a social experiment. But
I've been on the project a couple of times and I was amazed how scripted that was.
Oh, wow.
Like every sentence is just done.
Oh,
every
see, I
joke
wouldn't have picked that up.
Ah, yeah, it's scripted.
Yeah, right.
Scripted AF.
So with, so, you know, Bondi Rescue hits, I guess you're seeing a whole lot more people hanging outside your, outside of the life-saving tower now.
Well,
trying to,
yeah, I'm not there as much, but I think it.
but even in your, when you were still there, when it was peaking,
wild.
yeah.
On New
Like-
Year's Day, because they used to film New Year's Day
Yeah.
and at 5 in the morning, like after, like people used to be there waiting for us, and they were off their guts from the night before.
Oh, yes.
And they're just like, it was wild.
It was like you're a rock star.
Yeah.
Rock star for drunk people. Well, I guess that's a rock
School
star.
holidays, heaps of people coming from all around the world to come
Yeah.
and say hello.
Was it like at a point where they were after autographs and
Yeah, photos more, but yeah, autographs too.
selfie? Give us a selfie.
Yeah, a quick photo's easy for us. We have a quick chat to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, with signings, people would buy shirts and would sign stuff.
So what's the most celebrity thing that's happened to you over that sort of 10-year period where you're in all that stuff?
I went to the Logies a couple of times.
Yep.
And we won a Logie, which was awesome. You know, up on stage. Hoppo and I were out. We ended up at the Channel 9 party because we're mates with David Gingell, who used to run Channel 9.
Yep.
And we were there with the Logie, just drinking. Hoppo was dancing with Jennifer Hawkins.
Oh, sweet.
Glenn McGrath came up. Wendell Saylor. And, they knew my name.
Yeah.
And they'd come and say, hi, Deano, and it was, their kids watched the show and it was surreal.
Yeah, awesome. And then, so you pulled up stumps as a full-time lifesaver. When was that? Was that like 2018,
Yeah, I had a
2017?
couple of issues with council over the years and the way they do things. And yeah, I was fairly direct with them. As I've got a little bit older, I don't like this fluffiness,
Yeah.
I just don't have time for patronising people. So I sort of told them how it is and
They didn't like it?
well, there was some things going on which I didn't think were safe, and I was raising issues. It was bullying and harassment. It was old school.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was time for. I was sort of forced out in a way.
Yeah, and so now you like your yogi stuff. I think are you a qualified PT?
Yeah, yoga. I've been personal training for 20. I did my qualification of personal training in the first year of, or maybe before. Anyway, it was sort of
early
ago.
Yeah,
over 20 years ago.
And was that originally like to supplement your income, or were you just interested in doing that stuff?
Yeah, well, originally lifeguarding was September to April.
Oh, so you needed something to do in the off season. Yeah, right.
And, you know, even in the early days of before Bondi Rescue, I was doing maybe 9, 10 personal training sessions a week.
Yep.
And working full time. You know, a lot of people have second jobs. Yeah, health and fitness was sort of more my passion then, and it transitioned to more wellness and nervous system regulation after I lost my health.
Yeah, right. And how did you lose your health? Obviously not self-inflicted.
I had someone king hit me at the football one night, knocked out my 4 front teeth.
While you were playing, or
no,
while you were watching?
having a beer watching the
watching
the footy, and like I was sitting like 6 or 8 chairs in, and I was looking the other way, didn't see it at all.
And
so you got knocked unconscious, rolled down some stairs.
Was that a random thing, or was that because they knew who you were?
It was a premeditated attack.
Wow. From someone that you knew of?
Someone that I knew of that I hadn't seen for a long time. You know, I thought it was quite cowardly. If he wanted to have a crack,
for sure.
Could have been like, Dean, do you want to go outside and discuss this?
Yeah.
But that wasn't the path that he took at the time. He got charged with grievous bodily harm or something. You know, if it happened now, that person would be straight to jail.
Yeah.
Like, the laws have changed significantly. People have died from those.
Yeah, hitting their head on the concrete.
What are they called? I think
the one punch.
What's the boxer? Danny Green talks about the coward punch.
Coward punch, that's it.
Coward punch. So he's pushing for changes. And I spoke to Danny about this, like changes in WA, and they'll potentially go Australia-wide. That young kid was killed in the cross the other year. So,
and I think it's worked too. Like, you used to hear about it in the news quite a lot. But now it seems to have, like, either they're not talking about it or it just doesn't seem to be such a big thing. But there seemed to be a couple of years there where it was most weekends it was happening somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Someone was just getting blindsided and king hit, and unfortunately most cases were getting killed with it. But no, I did see that coward punch thing that Danny did, and so that the knock-on effect of that was obviously pretty...
Yeah, it was horrific.
Yeah, right.
It was something that I never knew was real. You know, I didn't want to go out of the house. You know, there was post-traumatic stress.
So it was... It wasn't...
Like I was spending a lot of time in a dentist chair because they were trying to put my teeth back in.
Oh, wow.
We'll keep going up.
Yeah, mate, yeah.
Doctors, you know, they fucking hated the psychologist. You know, they're trying to put me on meds, which I hated, and it just wasn't working, and it was making me worse. And I didn't want to leave the house. I started developing dermatitis and eczema, and gluten sensitivities. Will go up. I couldn't eat sugar. I was scratching myself till I bled. It was It was wild.
Wow. And like, I'm sure you did some research on the whys. Like, you wouldn't think that that even though it was massively traumatic, you like, if you explained it to someone, I don't think that they'd realize that you could have such a big knock-on effect for something.
Well, the trauma is more commonly talked about these days. I think now people understand stress and trauma and bullying and harassment and all these things.
It's good that it's talked about now, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, back when I was a kid, it'd be the same with everyone. Like, you just we didn't diagnose anything. You know, it was just, the kid's a prick of a kid.
Yeah.
Let alone the fact that he's got a chemical imbalance going on, probably due to what the parents were feeding him, or, but yeah, it's, and so that, you jump more into the...
Well, I struggled. I bounced around. Nothing was working. There was a couple of years of suffering. Didn't want to leave the house, and I eventually sort of found, gave up on doctors and the medical system. The dentists were able to sort of put a fake front tooth back in.
Yep.
So I sort of felt normal. I don't even know which one.
And this was before the show?
This is the year before the show.
Oh, right.
And then I think the show was a great distraction for me. It sort of just got me back into my work, and I was just trying to get my health. So I lost my health, and I was trying to regain my health. And yeah, quickly realised the medical system didn't know much about regaining health, and I had to do it myself. And it was the most beautiful realisation that I ever had. I'm really grateful for this journey, and even the attack. It's taken me, I wouldn't be here now having this discussion if that didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And so was it like a self-exploratory thing? Did you like just look for alternate ways to fix the
I did.
root cause?
I bounced around. I ended up with a book, How to Eat, Move and Be Healthy, by a guy named Paul Chek, and I was blown away by this book. And then I got someone that had been trained by him, a guy named Darren McKenzie. And I went and saw him, and yeah, like he was in the first session, he was talking about forgiving the bloke that had just hit me, and I'm like, oh my God, what have I done?
I've wasted my money.
You know, back then I'd paid him a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I'd paid for 5 or 6 sessions up front, and I'm like, what is this idiot doing? He's talking about forgiveness and loving myself, and I'm like, oh my God. And he was asking me what if my water's filtered, and anyway, the first session or two was a write-off, but then it all become clear.
So was there one thing that he said that you had the aha moment?
No.
No.
It's a combination. Your health is never one thing.
So it was more you succumbed or opened up to like if it was 2 or 3 sessions where you're like, this guy's just wasting my money and my time, then all of a sudden it clicks. Like for me, I often get that, but you have that one thing that said the way it makes sense. But that's
there was a number of things in the book that was starting to make sense that I grew up drinking cordial and eating muffins thinking that was healthy. Yeah. Like the food pyramid.
My dad picks the fruit that goes to Cuddy's.
Like once you understand what was going on, and you start to see why the system is still broken.
Yeah.
It's quite depressing.
It is.
Well, I was an asthmatic as a kid, and they just bounced me around from doctor to doctor, loaded me up on medication. No one ever taught me to breathe properly.
Oh, wow. So even with your swimming, you were full asthmatic?
Well, I think that the swimming kept me regulated my breath, which is why I'm so passionate about breath work now. But when you swim, you need to breathe through your mouth, and mouth breathing is dysfunctional. And the way you breathe in training will influence the way you breathe at rest, because we breathe autonomically. So, yeah, mouth breathing at night, absolutely horrible for people's health.
Yeah. Thus the rise in mouth tape.
Mouth tape, people can't concentrate. You know, if kids are mouth breathing at school, there's less oxygen to their brain, there's heart rate's higher, they're more likely to be disruptive.
And it even affects, I listened to an audio book around breathing. I don't know if it was, I don't know what it was called. Maybe, is it James Nestor?
Yeah, his brilliant book, Breath, the New Science of the Lost Art.
That's it. So, but I was shocked on how he's researched even
10 days.
The dental work. That's like everyone's getting orthotics, what they call
orthodontics,
it? Orthodontics. They're getting braces, and a lot of it, he was saying how everyone's jaws, like the effect of mouth breathing's just been massive.
Yeah, particularly with kids, it changes their face.
Woo.
So yeah, it's been a wild journey.
And did you, once you decided that you wanted to, like, obviously you jumped in and did it yourself for your own, scratching your own itch, but at the point where you decided that you might actually want to do this and teach other people, was it like, were you trying to come up with something different, or were you happy to kind of learn other things that were already out there, or?
Yeah, I was more interested in my own health. I'd trained people previously, so I'd worked as a trainer, and when you work with these people, sometimes you're not able to give people what they need. Yeah. And personal trainers have a tendency just to push, and sometimes they break people. Yeah. I didn't have that ego then, but once everything is nervous system regulation, everything either up regulates or down regulates. And there's some deep dives into the polyvagal theory. So it's fascinating. fascinating research which has been out there for a long time. But yeah, supporting sleep, nutrition, hydration, breathing, and they all interplay and affect each other.
And they just make you a better human.
Yeah, make you a better human.
Which is what we're all about. And so, yeah, so you kind of sorted it all out, and then...
Yeah, kept studying, kept learning, kept working with people. I was studying. Yeah, I wasn't sure why I was studying or where I was going, but ultimately, because I wanted to be a lifeguard for the rest of my life. But yeah, got to sort of help family and friends and work with people. And yeah, eventually I had the skills just when I took a year off lifeguarding when I was going through that bullying and harassment at work. Told the boss to get fucked. And yeah, I went and climbed a mountain with Wim Hof.
Oh, wow. Oh, so you actually went with him?
Yeah, I went with Wim.
Oh, so
I wanted to do something that scared the life out of me.
Yeah.
That's where I ended up, climbing a mountain with Wim Hof in Poland.
Wow. And
then, yeah, started to, back into really studying.
And that's how you got into the cold as well as the breath?
Yeah, well, my circulation was never good. And so asthmatics, they don't breathe right? And that affects our heart and our lungs and our circulation. So asthmatics are more likely to get heart disease, and heart disease is already the #1 killer worldwide. I don't have to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
When you start delving deeper into this stuff, it is so connected, and so you can't understand why it's not out there more.
Yeah.
So you want to, and you get such great results, not with everyone.
Nah.
But some people you get the most fantastic results with by making simple lifestyle changes.
Is that Bronte there?
That's Chloe. Yeah, we've gone past Bronte.
Oh, right.
We're at Chloe.
We've gone past, we've overachieved. We've
overachieved.
So we're just at Clavelli behind us there. Yeah, beautiful part of the world, hey?
Yeah, Dr. Chris Brown just lives around here, the old Bondi vet.
Bondi vet.
He's shifted.
Another one of the shows. Yeah, but he's not, what's he doing now?
Brownie's gone to Channel 7.
Yeah, I heard that, and did the Dancing with the Stars thing.
Yeah, I think so. I don't watch much TV. No. I don't even see any Bondi Rescue these days.
Yeah, right.
I got to try and watch it with the kids, see what's on it this year.
My daughter loves it. Like, she tends to watch the older reruns of the older ones though on YouTube. She thinks it's unreal.
Yeah. It's so good. We meet so many people. We get stories that people have brought people back to life from seeing us do resuscitation on TV.
That's surreal.
There's some pretty special.
But that's why we need to get some of this wellness and breathing and cold therapy on telly, mate.
Yeah.
I have a theory on that too, which I'll tell you.
I've done a little bit. I've had the boys breathing on Bondi Rescue. I've had the boys ice bathing on Bondi Rescue.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show's been really supportive of me as I've transitioned more to health and wellness. So yeah, it has been good, but yeah, it's continuing to grow and evolve. Like the cold therapy boom. When I first studied with Wim Hof and started running ice bath sessions 6 or 7 years ago, it was unheard of.
No.
Apart from footy players and maybe some elite athletes.
It was the 1%ers, wasn't it?
But there was no one. You couldn't have an ice bath. Now in Bondi, there's ice baths everywhere. There's saunas. Saunas had a big resurgence on the back of cold therapy.
I do love a sauna.
Yeah, so do I. So some people say the reverse, to cool down before bed.
Yeah.
But when you cool the body down in a cold shower, an ice bath, the body heats up. So they talk about sleeping better when you're cool. So by heating yourself up, your body will try and cool yourself down by vasodilating and getting blood to the surface.
And that's when I find I start yawning. Yeah. Like that's the tell for me, is as soon as I hop out of the sauna and my body starts cooling down naturally, I just start yawning, and I'm like, it's that signal that you're ready for bed.
Yeah, both modalities are beautiful. The cold's particularly powerful. If you look at the research, it recommends about 11 minutes a week of cold therapy. And if you put that in context with sauna, they recommend sort of maybe 40, 50 minutes of sauna a week. And the studies on men are amazing. All-cause mortality down 50%.
Oh, wow.
28-year studies done on men that are saunaing 2 or 3 times a week for 20 minutes at a certain heat. You want
Yeah.
You want a certain heat.
What is
But
that heat? Do you know?
Can't remember it off the top of my head to do it justice.
Yeah.
But it's mostly done on, most of the research is done
traditional.
on traditional saunas.
Yeah, yeah. Which are harder to find. Like the infrared ones obviously are.
Yeah.
You know, all of these recovery centres are just plug and playing them in.
A lot of the good recovery centres will have both.
Yeah.
Which is great. And then if you compare that to exercise as well, it's nice to put it in context. They recommend maybe 150 to 180 minutes exercise a week. So cold therapy, like 11 minutes a week.
Yeah.
Exercise,
that seems low to me. 11. Like I haven't done it for a little while because I've been slack and putting this show together. But like I think each one of my cold sessions I was in the water 10.
10.
Like for even the one single session.
Yep. So you got to look at temperature, duration, and sort of repetition over those weeks. So you know, a 2 degree ice bath's different to a 10 degree ice bath.
Yeah. I was around. I think they would have 4 different bars, and I think they ranged from. They were running through the aircon like they were recycled ones, and I think they went from 10 degrees down to about 4.
Yeah.
And I would bounce because I was kind of cycling out. I'd start at the 10 and then cycle down to the coldest and do 2 minutes in each. But yeah, like I said, it was bloody...
Yeah, so some people, you know, I speak to lots of people, they do 5 minutes a day, it's their thing. But they love it, they feel great for it. Yeah, I'm really conscious, again, it is powerful. Some people are pushing it too far.
Yeah.
And again, same as exercise.
That's what we do
same
as humans,
sauna.
right?
But yeah, it's trying to educate people about these modalities, not to push because it's a stress.
Yeah. And so not everybody's going to have access to an ice bath. Do you see any value in like cold shower where you're not like in the morning, say, no hot water on, it's just full cold tap? Is there any benefit in that?
Absolutely. The research again sort of suggests under 18 degrees is to get the benefits of cold therapy, but you know, these things aren't new. People are doing cold exposure, cold showers. Dad says my grandfather used to have a cold shower and cold baths for hundreds of years.
Yeah. So so people could do, say, like 5 minutes in a cold shower.
Cold shower and get a little bit of contrast therapy at home.
Yeah, right.
It'll certainly get things moving. Or sauna, cold shower works really well.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I tell people, especially that don't have sauna as well, I'm like, if you finish your day on as hot a shower as you can handle, you know, that I just find that for prepping for a better quality sleep, I don't know, I just get so many benefits out of it that I think it's awesome.
There's a little product that I sell on my website. It's like a little container and you fill it with ice and there's straps and it goes across my shower.
Oh, right.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah, right.
Because a lot of people find the cold showers, if the temperature's harder than an ice bath. So with cold water sort of spurting into your face and head, there's no relaxation. So when you're in any body of water, the body relaxes. And when you're in cold water, you get the dive reflex or the mammalian dive reflex where your heart rate slows.
Right.
When you're in a cold shower, it's just...
Yeah.
So some people find cold showers harder than ice baths.
Yeah, right. Yeah, actually, now I think about it, they're both difficult, which is, I think it's another good reason to do it because it's a stressor and it's...
Mix up your exposures.
Yeah, and you just, you know, it's like that whole comfort crisis thing, right? You just want to put yourself in situations that you're not fully comfortable in.
Yeah.
And I think it makes you a better human. So
you feel good at once it's done.
Oh yeah, man. And that's the thing with cold. I just can't start my day any better. Like, and even from an inflammation standpoint, like, you know, I still get, if I'm not mindful of my diet, I still get very puffy and inflamed. And I think that's part of being, while I'm not officially type 2 diabetic in my HbA1cs every quarter, I still know that I'm insulin resistant because I wear a CGM every other month.
Okay.
Just to see what the reaction is to things that I'm doing to my blood sugar. And yeah, if I have carbs, sugar, like I just don't have the insulin in my system to be able to deal with it. And my blood sugar spikes quick and it stays elevated for ages. So I just need to be super mindful of that.
Yeah, I don't know what the mechanism of it, but there's certainly some some information showing the benefits of cold therapy for gut health.
Yeah, right.
And it may be just as simple as that anti-inflammatory response.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's very interesting. So what's if you were to give someone a blueprint, just a everyday punter listening to this that like doesn't have access to a readily access to a sauna or a cold plunge, like between the breath work and what they can do at home, is there things that they can be doing just to make their day-to-day a bit better?
There's always better choices we can make.
Yeah.
Every meal, every day, you know, I'm, you know, like you, sort of getting a couple of years away from 50, very interested in health and longevity and not getting injured. You know, what we're doing now, rucking, this is great, right? We're just increasing the benefits we're getting from exercise without the risk.
Yeah, and it doesn't really, to me, this is as enjoyable as exercise can get, right? Look at our view. We're going for a walk, we're having a nag. And like I said, even if you're super fit and I'm not, you can be carrying 15 keggers in that thing. I can be carrying 5 kilos in mine. We're both going to get the same meaningful exercise, and, you know, and you're doing it socially. And you'll be, I don't know, do you wear a wearable?
My Aura ring's broken. I was just tracking it at night. I don't. I spend so much time on the computer and the phone now. It was just
too much connection.
Too much.
Yeah. No, because I'd just be interested in one, because you've probably done this stroll a few times in your day, but just to see how much your average heart rate is over the same period. Because people are surprised, like some of the walks I've taken, particularly females, like they'll have their kids. At some point they'll want to get rid of the baby fat or get back to, like, it's very vanity metrics, I guess, that they're doing it for. But they start walking, right? And of course, the first couple of weeks of walking, they'll get a good result because they haven't moved for a while. But after a while, they tend to plateau, and they tend to be creatures of habit a little bit too, where they'll just keep doing the same run or walk like every day.
Yeah.
You know, I go out for half an hour every morning and get my walk in and stuff like that. And they're the ones I'm always interested in, because they've got 6 or 12 months of data of them doing their 5K stretch that they do every morning or every other morning. And then we stick a 5 kilo vest on them. And man, like some of them are double the heart rate, average heart rate.
Wow.
And they go, oh man, I sleep so good when I wear it. And so it's a real, for me, I just know, because I yo-yoed and did every stupid elimination diet and crazy challenge, like 30-day challenge where you're doing boot camps and whatever. And like, it always just led to injury, and it led to never being able to keep up with it. Like most of the time I didn't even finish it, but then if I did finish it, it wouldn't stick.
Yeah.
Like, so all the stuff I was doing in those hardcore challenges would never ever stick. So
so I'm about lifestyle changes, and I love getting people, you know, they don't need gyms or equipment, just get out, fresh air, exercise, and if you live near the ocean, you can have a swim.
Yeah.
There's all this amazing research about getting the sun in your eyes early for your circadian rhythm and your sleep. You know, the community, the connection, there's just so many things going for it that if people get up and do some exercise early, they just set themselves for better choices.
Yeah.
All day.
Totally agree. And you've got to make it, like, I don't like using the word easy, but it kind of needs to be. Yeah. Like if it's a job, if it's a part-time job to try to keep healthier, people just won't stick to it. And so, you know, and I don't love the word hacking either.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest key to hacking someone's health is just to be able to give them the tools to be able to implement it so it becomes easy.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's when fasting's great for some people, if it works for them, right?
Yeah.
If we can get them, and they're not changing how much they eat, we're just shifting it to eating less.
Yeah. And do you find, so that's I did fasting as part of me reversing my type 2 diabetes, because when I jumped down the rabbit hole of that, for diabetics, fasting and more of a keto style diet was really good. Like, and I don't, elimination diets, I don't say, you know, the only thing I say with food is you got to eat as whole as you can, but you need to eat in a way that you enjoy it and that you can consistently do it. because there's no point, like for me, keto worked really well, and I was probably on keto for that first year that I was trying to get my health back. But I wouldn't have a keto diet all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. Like for me, I find it challenging.
Keto and carnivore are a little bit extreme.
Yeah.
Well, you know, but if it works for you and you want to do it, but my ex-girlfriend says I've trained myself to like the things that are good for me. So
do you reckon there's some truth in that?
Well, yeah. Like I won't heat up food in a microwave. I don't have a microwave at home. And so if I'm at work, I'll be eating cold leftovers, right? And some people just can't do that. But for me.
But if you're looking at food different, right? Like if you're looking at it as a fuel source versus everything has to have this beautiful taste sensation and crunch and salt and and funny when you say about microwaves, we were the last family of anyone that I knew where microwaves come out to get one, and mum just was never ever going to have a microwave.
The food doesn't taste as good.
No.
It's once you've removed yourself about the heating stuff up quickly. If you heat up leftovers in the pan or in the oven, they taste better than the microwave.
But
100%.
She just went, nah. And then one day, I don't know what it was, but she gave in and she bought a microwave, and within 6 months she had a brain tumor. And I don't think they're connected, that's my opinion, but she always...
They are, but it's how much.
Yeah, I just think it was a bit quick.
The microwave wouldn't have helped her health, and there's data to prove that.
Yeah.
But how much, that's the bit where it's really difficult to quantify. And
yes.
We would suggest a brain tumor doesn't happen in 6 months. It's probably
there was something already there. But she went to her grave swearing that she died because of this fucking microwave. So, yes. So I feel you on the microwave thing, although, that's also like reheating, I suppose, but I don't even really do that. But yeah, when you're eating whole,
you just get rid of it, chuck it out.
Yeah, and I think you tend to, I don't know. With whole foods, I just don't tend to use a microwave.
Well, it cooks the food differently. So the Russians invented the microwave. I think the World War II or something, did some research on them, worked out how bad they were, and they were banned in Russia until...
And then sold it to the Americans.
Well, yeah, sold it, but they were banned in Russia. I'll have to check the dates. I used to know all this stuff when I was health coaching. Well, now I spend more time reading respiratory science. But yeah, Russians invented the microwave for World War II, realised how bad they were, and then banned them in their own country. Have you heard of forest bathing? Well, there's a Japanese word for it, where they just get in nature and they're able to quantify people's heart rate slows, people's respiratory rate slows. They measure cortisol, the stress hormone, in people's saliva, and that decreases just from being outside. Being outside in nature.
Yeah, right. But that first morning light period is like glorious. It's like...
Yeah, it's a beautiful time to be outside, right?
Yeah. And then but from a breath, is there a way that you can do some mindful
nasal
breathing?
If you're nasal breathing, you're probably maybe a third of the way there.
Okay.
Already. So when we breathe through our nose, we breathe slower, and this down-regulates the nervous system. When we breathe through our nose, we breathe less. And when we breathe through our nose, we generally innervate our diaphragm, which is our major breathing muscle. Diaphragm, nasal breathing is sort of getting us to these pillars or dimensions of functional breathing. So fast breathing, big breathing, and mouth breathing, which is upper chest breathing, are all excite the body and they're a stress response.
Yep.
To get in flow states, to get relaxation, to get health benefits of a meditation practice, it's all breathing less, breathing slowly,
the nose breathing
lightly,
helps.
which nose breathing supports.
And would you recommend, if someone was going to sit on the grass, get some light exposure in their eyeballs, and just do some mindful breathing? Is it like you mentioned, slow breathing or fast breathing?
Yeah, so there's the Wim. I studied with Wim Hof, and he teaches a fast breathing practice, which I love the Wim Hof method. And again, it's a conscious fast breathing method, so it's different. It's controlled hyperventilation, which we often call controlled superventilation. It just adds a nicer
Than
nicer.
yeah, there's
nice.
a negative connotation to hyper.
Connotation there. So yeah, but after, when in the Wim Hof breathing, you go from fast breathing to a breath hold. And it's in the breath hold where the body actually comes back into balance. So you're stimulating between or floating between or drifting between the two nervous systems. So stress, again, gets this negative connotation, right? Stress is, we're adding some stress now by exercising. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And we need stress. We talked about the comfort crisis and sauna, ice bathing. All these things are stress. We've just got to understand at what level does a good stress become a bad stress. And this is where holding your breath for too long, holding your breath for a period of time, good stress, body adapts and responds positively. Holding your breath for too long, quite simple, you die. And it's educating and getting people to understand where this is.
Yeah, and if someone was going to spend 2 or 3 minutes or however long out in their backyard looking at doing some mindful breathing before they went to work.
I've got a couple of free resources on YouTube.
Oh, wicked.
But slow breathing is generally considered 4 to 10 breaths per minute.
Yep.
You can use your hands to touch your belly or your rib cage so you can feel that diaphragm move. And this can simply, by using your hands, you've got biofeedback. It can get you out of your head, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are busy and they're trying to meditate and they're going, is my meditation working? Is my meditation working? By focusing on a couple of more physiological parts of breathing, we're getting into the psychological relaxation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so when your mind's racing you through some sort of negative thought pattern and your body's going into fight or flight, when you start breathing slowly, your body's telling your mind, hang on, well, I don't know what you're doing up there, but down here, there's no one chasing us, there's no one trying to kill us, we're not running for our life, we're okay. So I don't know what you're doing up there, but maybe you want to jump on board with us. So that's where our breathing our physiology takes control of our psychology.
Yes.
Whereas what you were doing was your psychology taking control of your physiology.
And I'd been for a ruck, and as much as I love rucking, and I'm obviously because I created a business around it, but it didn't snap me out of it. It was only the breath work that did.
Yeah, that's the magic of breath work for some people. Some people that can't meditate actually need some form of meditation, and breath work is a form of meditation.
Well, it's as close as I ever get.
And some people don't like some of those words.
Yeah.
Although I think society's changing and, blokes are openly talking about feeling a little bit anxious and stressed and trying to look for mindful activities or connection with other men, sometimes without alcohol involved. It's fascinating the way society's going.
Yeah. Yeah, because it used to be you just meet your mate at the pub, right?
Well, we shortcut across.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I remember my old boy, he was a Northern Beaches lad, and all his therapy was done at the Time and Tide Hotel.
Yeah.
And
the men used to connect there, right?
Yeah. They just weren't maybe doing it in the, especially in his case, he did it over 20 schooners and a packet of cigarettes. But yeah, it was a little...
But yeah, if you pulled him out of the pub, he would, you've got to transition those habits over time. Oh, pushing us up the hill.
Is it up that way or that way?
Yeah, we're going over there.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we're back in Bondi.
So this is the...
Marks Park, this is. Helicopter lands up here. Yeah, this is the south part.
Yeah.
There's that little sort of Mackenzie's Bay just there.
And this is where they'd land a chopper if you had to
had a couple of choppers land over the years.
Care flight, guys.
They have Sculptures by the Sea come soon.
Yeah. I did that with the kids.
Sculptures by the Sea.
Oh, right. It brings too many people.
First couple of years it was beautiful to see some art and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But 15 years later, it's the same stuff.
Yeah.
Every year. And
Yeah.
it goes for 3 weeks now.
Yeah, it's too long,
It
eh?
used to be like a weekend.
Make it 1 weekend, 3 days or something.
Yeah, and everyone used to come out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at these creative people. This is beautiful. Now it's yeah.
Yeah,
It's
once
the
everything
same
gets
shit.
commercialized, you look at
You can't.
like even Vivid.
Yeah, Vivid,
Same thing, man. Runs over like a month. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the boys.
Cheers. Right, cheers.
So yeah, it's just like trying to take kids to the beach to go training. It's just a nightmare.
Yeah. And so kids, how are you on the kids front?
I got two.
Two kids?
Two
What age?
My little girl is 13 now. She's
Oh,
not so
wow.
little anymore. And my little boy's 10.
Oh, cool. How are you when it comes to your kids and nutrition?
Yeah, I used to be, like, you know, when they were young, you could control what they eat, right? That was great. You know, I was feeding them liver and, you know, heaps of avocado. Now I've lost a little bit of control. I'm trying to educate them to make better choices themselves because I'm not there. Have you tried some of the fermented vegetables, some of the natural?
Like kimchi and all that
Yeah,
stuff?
kimchi.
I'm
Sauerkraut.
fod.
I used to make my own sauerkraut years
Yeah.
ago before it was available at shop.
Yeah. I find like I'd probably have to make it because I can't do garlic or onion.
Yeah.
Like I just can't go any.
Sauerkraut's generally
It's just
whey,
cabbage and stuff, isn't it?
You fermented whey with a bit of salt.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, that might be all right. I remember it might have been kimchi or something.
Got
We
all
got,
the spices in it.
yeah, man, and it just messed me up. You starting to feel that in there?
Yeah, a little bit. It's good. It's good. It feels like upper body's had a workout as well.
Yeah.
It fit my posture. I feel open and tall.
Yeah, opens your shoulders up. Yeah. But I did after the winter. We live on an acreage, and it, you know, after winter it gets a bit moldy and mildewy,
Yeah.
like everything's wet, especially this winter. And so I stuck this on while I was doing my gurneying.
Yeah.
And I had a whole day of just like pressure washing the whole place down and cleaning all the pathways and all that sort of stuff. And the only thing I can, like at the end of the day, it had felt like I'd been in a day-long Pilates class.
Yeah, wow.
Like my core was just pinging. And I'm like, and that's just from doing like this kind of action with the wand, but having the 8 kilo vest on while I did it. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Well, we're back at the famous Bondi Beach.
That's a good workout.
It's good, eh?
Yeah, really good.
So I'd love to do one like, because you'd have a pretty good community of people who are into that health and wellnessy type stuff.
Yeah, it's a huge community around.
All right, there's another Rucking Good episode in the books. Hopefully you liked it, and if you did, feel free to share it around and throw us a like and subscribe if you so wish to. If you would like to see or be a guest on Rucking Good, please drop me an email to team@rucksack.com. And until then, we'll catch you on another episode.